Let's get me on the screen. Hey, it's Spence. Good morning. It's Friday, December 8th, 2023. These are my office hours. I'm going to turn this little thing off and see. Today, I'm going to do a more traditional office hours. And I was debating whether I want to do this, but I think I'm going to do it. It'll make me feel better. I want to discuss some personal challenges that I think are representative of the kind of things that I've been doing in social media, but also more importantly, what I've been doing for each of those of you who are my customers and clients. And I like to say we have a relationship, a friend relationship. One of the things that's interesting, and I'll try to just like couch this in terms that are applicable both, is that life does not have guarantees. Life has lots of unusual things that happen. I've spent most of my adult life dealing with all kinds of challenges in business and personal life and parenting and otherwise that I've overcome. I believe that that's like basically the hero's journey that each of us face. But what's difficult at a certain point in somebody's life, and it could be younger or older, is that you might face some medical challenges. So today, I've made part of my story that I had a very fit life. I still am very fit, but I had some back surgery that was my second and third back surgeries back in May. And I've been having some like difficulty down my right leg, some neurological difficulty. Anyway, long story short is this morning I went to a specialist after having some tests, and I got a diagnosis that is either great news or the worst news you can get. There is some kind of neurological thing that's either caused by scarring or it's a condition that is called arachnoiditis, which is a degenerative disease that's triggered by when you have some inflammation or irritation to the spinal canal. And it basically means that all the nerves from a certain point in your back going down clump together, and it's incurable and can be very debilitating, in fact, crippling over time. Now, it might not go anywhere, but so what it leaves me feeling immediately starting this morning, and that's why I wanted to say this publicly, is like, historically, I faced all my various business challenges and personal challenges, and I've helped my clients to understand that, the future is not fixed, but everyday life is going to take a dump in your coffee. That's just how Stoics approach it. So it's really how you train yourself. It's how you deal with it that matters. And I was a little shocked because I'd say there's still a better chance than not that it's the former. It's scarring and tissue that will, as the doctor says, give it another 3 to 6 months and it will probably resolve itself with some pain management. And I'm very hopeful that's the case. But I suppose what I can do in the meantime is be resilient enough to understand that it might be the worst. Why do I share all this? Well, a recurring theme this week has been the success of many of you, my students, my clients in your businesses. But also, I feel like there's a parallel there of the thing you thought you were going to be doing for your business turned out not to be, or the thing that you originally started your business on turned out to be not the best idea, and we reformulated it into something simpler or better. And for me, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a father, as a person who has to drink his own Kool-Aid, I feel like I owe it to all of you and I owe it to myself to approach the reality of your business and the advice I give you here with the same kind of thing that I do for my own business, for my own personal life, my health and everything. Because like we're all on this journey, we're all human beings, and we're all here to do the best we can as long as we can. So if you can take some advice, if you feel like you're open to it, you might be pleasantly surprised. And I'm a glass half full kind of person too. So in my own business here, it's 20 years. I've been grinding away at, what WordPress is as a business. But it turns out that I am basically doing the same thing that I've done historically with all my businesses. I just been reinventing it and perfecting it over time. But here we are, where I'm essentially providing a relationship. Yes, it's true. LaunchKit gives you, as we're going to talk about in a second, all the tools, all the software, the hosting, everything. But really, the thing that I'm selling is the personal expertise, the advice, the relationship. And most all of you who have been succeeding as of late have taken me up on the challenge and taken me up on the offer, where it's just a series of either emails or it's a series of Zoom meetings, if you have some extra support you bought from me, where we use the toolkit to solve your problems. Okay, So having said that, I want to close that part of this and go into sharing the screen about some of the popular features and things that people are making use of in LaunchKit. But I just want to close by saying, I don't know how this is all going to make me feel. The neurogenic pain, and it's not even pain, the way it makes me feel, it's like somebody has plugged an electrical cord into my lumbar area, and shooting down the right leg and a little about the left leg is like 110 volts all the time. It's not pain. It's just very disconcerting, and I can't feel anything below my knee. So I'm not saying, oh, woe is me, but I'm saying it's going to be a challenge for me to find some way to work around that. So I hope you'll bear with me, but maybe that'll bring some good to our relationship as well, because I think that all of us suffer our own, hero's journeys with whatever it may be. All right, let's jump in. My mini violin is put away now. And let me do this. Okay, so what I think would be interesting today would be, let's talk about some of the more popular things that people are doing with LaunchKit, or at least the questions that they've got. And one of the things that I want to bring to light is that there are businesses, including CRM companies like Go High Level, including ClickFunnels, Kartra, Kajabi. Somebody who's a client of mine who's very successful brought to me there's something called StanCart on Instagram that allows people to have a store. I want everybody to understand that the essential value proposition of LaunchKit is that it connects your WordPress site. Let me do this in the meantime. It connects your WordPress site to your CRM, whether it's the internal CRM of Fluent or whether it's an external CRM. And in so doing, you basically have a WordPress engine. And that's really what I think is the most important part, right? You have an engine for doing all of the things that WordPress can bring. And let's talk about some of them. Number one is it's a mechanism by which you can automatically register and log somebody in to a dashboard or a My Account area. So for example, if somebody is logged out, and let's do this. I want to make sure this time I don't lock myself out. I'm going to grab a link just in case I need it for this site. And I'm going to log myself out. I want to show you what happens when we're using the LaunchKit as far as taking care of your onboarding mechanism and a unified dashboard, because that's one of the main things that WooCommerce brings to the mix. And it's available to anybody if you want to figure out how to set it up. But one of the benefits of LaunchKit is it's just set up and ready to go. And so this eliminates a lot of the problems that people have. So let's do this. Let's log out. And if I go back to the site, we have the WooCommerce My Account shortcode that if we go to the My Account page, will present a very nice clean login. And it also has what we call filters that allow us to add additional custom fields like first name, last name, phone number, maybe even ask a question if you wanted. But in general, this capacity being built in means that we can connect somebody to our site, register them, log them in without having to add extra plugins or extra complexity that might change the stack of stuff. And this is so powerful because this is the method by which we can track somebody's journey using marketing automation. Here's my little show and tell, tags and custom fields. So by having the ability to register and log somebody in, we can now know which tags or fields they have, and we can also add to them or take them away to further track their journey. So let's see if this will log me in. Once you log back in with the very same page, well, if you use the right password, I'm gonna use my login link because I have not set a password here. This is a default site. But if you log in, the first thing that will happen normally it will take you to your My Account logged in status, and it looks like this. And this is under the hood, just basically the WooCommerce My Account shortcode, and we can modify the tabs that this outputs. So for example, you'll see here, we only have the WooCommerce My Account shortcode. That is what outputs this very nice array of tabs. We can change the look and feel of this, so on and so forth. But even better, I've demonstrated in another video that we have a feature using Cadence that lets you customize this layout so that you can customize this page into something much more dramatic, or you can use it in combination with a separate page, which I'm calling a dashboard page. Now, the dashboard page is really fun because Here we've made a fresh, completely different from the My Account page, but you'll notice that I have a tab or a link that will allow somebody to be taken back to the actual My Account page. So it allows us to think, if you think in terms of like let's do like lobby in a health club. We've built this beautiful building. It's ready to go out of the box. The lobby that people, the public, whomever can log into could be this dashboard. Now, there's one contingency. That's requiring somebody to be registered and logged in, but it doesn't mean that they have access to all the private membership stuff. I mean, think about like a health club. When you walk in, you can stand at the front desk and see the pool and the bikes and the Pelotons, but you don't yet have the access pass. You have to pay your membership to actually use those facilities. That's why the person at the desk is there. They can offer you, hey, why don't you try it for free? Or why don't you buy it for a week? Or here's the full membership. And that's exactly what you can do with your WooCommerce site. So letting people register and log in once they've crossed the threshold of just being a stranger is actually very, very useful. So in that situation, we are using the My Account dashboard either alone or in combination with a custom dashboard page, so that once somebody's logged in, they will see or not see various things. I'm dealing with family emergencies via text at the time. Okay, so let's talk about the other thing, conditional display. Now, this is what's interesting. Let's say that you've got a situation where somebody has registered and logged in and they have not yet purchased something, and you want them to see what's available to purchase. This is another situation where out of the box, the LaunchKit stuff allows somebody to use conditional display using a variety of options. The tags that people have, the value of their fields that they've got, things like their IP address, their location, things like what products they may have in their cart. And I've shown this in other videos, but I'm showing you here because let's look at the upper right corner here. Let's turn on the screen. In the upper right corner here, I'm going to go to this mode. You will see that I've got like get our simple product now and everything on the right side. This can be conditionally displaying different content depending on whether somebody already owns this or subscribed to it or whether it's in the cart. Similarly, we have all these variety of optional things that somebody could look at or see. These could be shown or not shown depending on whether somebody has bought them, or if they've not bought them, instead of saying access now, it could say subscribe now, buy this now, get this now. And then finally, like with the enrolled courses, let's say you're using LearnDash out of the box here, Lifter, whatever. Somebody's already enrolled in courses versus courses that they could get. So we can show conditionally different things using the variety of optional data that's available to us. So for example, here, we could use the tags that are available. Okay, so in this case, we can look at using Gutenberg. We can look at, let's say, here's this row layout. We can use some of the tools. I'm not going to do the full tutorial here, but we can use some of the tools available to us to conditionally display this stuff. For example, one of the neat ways of doing this is you could display this conditionally using whether it's in the cart. So using our the visibility conditions plugin, we could choose something such as cart value, cart products. And that is to say, are there certain products in the cart? Yes or no, right? So I think I had like a product called Coaching Call. If that product is or is not in the cart, that would be something that we could use. Okay, I'm not getting it to call up, but that's okay. And if we wanted to use cart value, we could use it. We could use things like the geolocation of somebody who's visiting. What's their IP address? What's the date? And so forth. All right. A second way we can do that is using tags. Now, we can use tags that apply specifically to the block, Or let's delete this one, by the way. Or we can use a wrapper. And the wrapper is available to us using WP Fusion, or it's available to us using even Fluent natively. So here's how the wrapper would look. Let's say in this row layout, I'm going to insert before or add before, and I'm going to use the WP Fusion wrapper. This is something that can contain any of the things that we want to conditionally display or not. And you'll notice that if you could see that, it's kind of close up. So let's go like that. You can see that there is, like, first of all, out of the box, a logged in versus logged out option. And with the logged in option, that gives us the chance of saying something like, hey, you can only see this when you're logged in. But obviously, as I mentioned, everybody's going to be logged in to see this anyway. So that's silly. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take that row layout and we're going to place it inside of that block or inside of that option. And let's get rid of the little paragraph spacer. And then we say, what is the condition that will make this show versus something else? And here we just say, what's the tag that somebody has, right? So if they've, let's say, for example, become a member, this will be available as an offer because they've got the tag of member access. If, for example, they purchased a previous product with the name product, that will be available. Otherwise, you will offer them an alternative. So in this case, what I would do is, let's say I would copy and I would go down here and let's just type something to placeholder it, and I would paste. And now I could do a different thing. You know, this is the alternative offer. And you can change this with the look and the feel, of course, using Cadence, which is wonderful, to remove that product's image and put in maybe a different product image. Let's see if I have something. I'll just pop in like that. Okay. So now we've got like two potential conditions that are both being shown in the My Account dashboard as a free billboard for you to essentially market your services and otherwise. And think of this also as a complement to the marketing automation. So let's shift gears entirely and switch over to, besides what you would show in the dashboard, how would you show somebody that there's an offer available because of their tags, what they've done? Well, it would be through the email follow-ups. So let's do a quick conversation about the difference between transactional email and marketing email. Either way you do it, you're going to eventually, once you've set up your launch kit, you're going to connect your own SMTP service. An SMTP service is required in order to ensure deliverability of any messages that you send from your particular site. Now, some of you may be using services in the past that have like PHP email connected to them, like a server. So we need to rethink that, because with the volume of email that you would send in a typical marketing situation, you're going to want to make sure that it gets delivered. All SMTP services are not the same in that regard. Only those designed for doing email marketing will allow you to send those messages. So for example, SendGrid is a really economical, powerful, and easy option in addition to things like Amazon SES. Why? Because it's free for 100 emails a day if you wanted to really just tippy toe into it. But, you know, the essentials are like $20 a month for 50,000 emails that could be marketing in nature and are almost guaranteed to be delivered. When we use that in the launch kit, it also takes care of transactional email. So transactional email are things about, hey, thanks for signing up. Hey, you just bought a product. Hey, this is your subscription details. Marketing emails are, hey, I want to talk to you about something else to buy. And so when you use Fluent SMTP, in this case, in LaunchKit, all you need to do is, we just show you in the documentation, go over and add your credentials from your SMTP service. In this case, maybe it's SendGrid or Amazon. And in like 2 seconds, you're literally up and running. And instead of having this red email disabled trap, which we put in place so you can see all the emails being sent until you're ready, you will get the real emails. They will start going out. So by the way, this is a good time to mention, if you go to WPLaunchKit.com documentation, this is where, if you were to type in like SendGrid, we have the steps all laid out for you. So in addition to the personal relationship with me, which will help you over some things, you can just go in here, and I've been trying since I started this to document the basic features all as a a group of stuff. So instead of the individual plugin or plugins as standalones, how do they work together as part of the features that we're talking about? And here we've got like, this is how to set up SendGrid from the free, demo setup that we've got that lets you test things to your actual account. Okay. All right. So if we were inside of here and we had the SMTP set up, we would use the Fluent CRM to maybe create a campaign. And a campaign is one of three things that are very, very common and powerful. They're built into LaunchKit for marketing. So let me do a little aside with Spence here. You've heard me mention many times, there's three types of people who you have a relationship with. Cold leads, warm prospects, and customers. Now, customers, I was about to say paid customers, but customers could be customers that are just like they have done a transaction, but it's a free or a very minimal amount just to get their credit card on file. So the idea of a customer is they've gone through a checkout process. Now, with cold leads, it may not be necessary, let's say, for you to have them registered and logged in yet, because it's like somebody you just met on the street who goes, oh, hey, yeah, you're friends with so-and-so. Didn't we go to the same school? Maybe I'll see you. You haven't done anything with them yet. They haven't expressed enough interest to give you their contact info and say, hey, let's have coffee. So for cold leads, you can just use the CRM capability in a form to take them and add them to the database. In following up with those people, you might have a singular email, or you might have a series of emails, or you might have an email that you send to everybody. It's one email, but it goes to a lot of people based upon different conditions. And so that's where I wanted to introduce the Fluent CRM's capability for emails are you can have a custom single email. You can have a series of custom emails that are templated and go in an order. Or you can have a singular email that goes out to a lot more people than just one person because of their common thread. They've all viewed a page or clicked this or bought this or seen that. Okay. So when we're doing our campaign, I like to think of a campaign as a template that I'm going to send to more than one person. So let's say, for example, rather than just a unique email, I'm going to send something that's going to go out to a lot of people, and I need to, differentiate who they are. I want to filter out or segment out those people. So first thing I could do is, demo campaign email. And this email itself doesn't really matter, but I just want you to see that you can use the tools of Gutenberg, and you can use really, let's put this up bigger, by the way. I always forget to do that, and then everybody asks me later. Okay. In fact, let's go full screen. So you can use the tools right here of, let's say, Gutenberg. And I usually do something like hi. And then right here, we've got this ability to take the custom data from a variety of sources in WordPress, the contact, the custom fields, the WooCustomer, the affiliate WP, LearnDash. I'm going to take the contact info, a first name, and then paste it. So if they have a first name, it's going to say, hi, Spence, and then blah, 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 blah. Okay. Now, I like to save this not only here for, what I'm progressing through, but I also use these three dots. And these three dots let me save this as a template if I want. And I can call this, campaign template number one, or let's keep it like this, one. I won't do this for now, but like by saving it, it then becomes available for me as a starting point by using import template. So instead of having to do this from scratch, the next time I might just click import template, and it will be one of the choices for me to use from here. I've done this in previous examples, right? So if I click here, ta-da, well, that was actually a great example because it just placed it in. You see how easy that was. All right. Next is in the actual automation itself, as I was talking about. Instead of just showing somebody something different in their dashboard, you will probably want to do something that's an automation that will include this very same email campaign. So let's call this automation follow-up. You notice we have similarly a number of things called triggers, and they could be based upon the affiliate standing or the bookings plugin or the CRM plugin or the LearnDash or the WooCommerce, the WordPress triggers. I usually lean heavily on either the tag applied or I apply based on order status. Like, for example, somebody places an order and it's still processing, or the order is complete, or something's changed. There are also a couple new ones in here which are worth mentioning that are available because of the great work of Jack Arturo and Shah Jahan Jewel. But like Jack wrote, field has changed as a trigger. It's available now as a separate plugin, but I'm quite sure that's going to become one of the options in here as well. So like, so let's say my name is Spencer Form and I'm from Chicago. If I changed my name, or if I changed the value of my location, that could be a trigger as well for sending out an email or waiting for something to happen. Here, let's just use the tag applied. And that's an easy one because we know that a tag was applied when somebody sees or clicks or does something. So let's say when they get the has member access tag that, like I was showing you a moment ago, changes the offer in their dashboard, let's also send an email follow-up. Now, one of the things you can do here is choose from all the available actions. There's things you could do about the CRM or email or about LearnDash or Fluent or WordPress, but usually I'll do something like a pause. Maybe I'll wait a day, or I could wait a couple hours. And then I will send out either a custom email or that email campaign. So here I can choose again, if I want directly, send a custom email, send an email sequence. Remember, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cancel a sequence, or I could send the campaign. And then you can choose from one of those campaigns, like the one I just made. Now, one of the things that's great, and I didn't show you this, is that in the actual campaign, you can filter and segment out of your entire audience of people in the CRM who should get that. So again, just think of it like this. Custom email is when you're talking to one person. Email sequence is when you are talking to maybe many people, but you want definitively 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 emails to follow each other in a certain order and with a certain delay. And then my son had lost his keys at the gym and he found them. That was the emergency. Okay. And then the third thing is, or you can use a campaign email. So whichever way you do it, just make sure you understand that in general, when you're doing automations, I like to use campaign emails because that's a way to further refine who gets what, but it's also a global segment that you can use for other things, right? All right. So what we've got is, if somebody has a tag of member access, wait a day, then send out this campaign email. Now, let's say the campaign email drove them to that product. Wouldn't it be cool if we set a goal or a condition to do something else while we've got people in the sequence? Spence, what's the difference between a goal and a condition? Well, a goal is something that people will be waiting for in the sequence, either 100% or optionally. A condition is a decision tree. It's a fork in the road. Yes or no, keep going. Yes or no, keep going. So think of goals as like hanging around waiting for something to happen, even if it's optional, whereas a condition is just a fork in the road. So let's look at both of them. If we were to add a goal, they're up here. We have a variety of things available. Did an order become received? Did a person get added to a list? That's not what we're ever going to use. This was one that's popular. Was a tag applied? Did they click a link? In the case we were talking about before, like we could use the condition of whether somebody's field value changed. Did they finish an email sequence? There's all these things here. I would say here's a good one. Either tag applied from buying the order of a product, or the order received would be perfectly acceptable here. So if we were making them an email that said, hey, you really, really should buy this product, I could just choose remember the coaching call? Or I could do whole product categories. Maybe I have 50 products and they all have the same category, and I can just choose a category instead. And then there's various things, like I suggested. This could be an essential goal or an optional goal. And if it's an essential goal, it means literally the person will be stuck here waiting for this to happen, or they will never move forward. Whereas with an optional, you can stack up. This actually happened in one of my calls this week. You can stack up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different optional goals. And if any one of them happens, somebody will move forward. But remember, this is different than a condition, because with a condition, people just keep moving forward. It's like you came to a fork in the road and you keep going. So think of goals as somebody's going to wait till one of these things happen. A condition, people are going to keep cruising on. So let's delete this one and let's replace it. We're going to replace this with a condition. And the condition is just literally as easy as that. You can say yes or no, something happened. And you can, by the way, stack it. So you can have and or. Let's do some examples. So with segmenting, we could say, did somebody get at least one of these tags, right? So condition includes tag of, I don't know, scheduled coaching call. Okay. As a simple condition, that's easy, because that's just, you're looking to see whether somebody got the tag that comes from scheduling the coaching call. And if no, you can do other stuff here. If yes, you can do other stuff here. Sometimes if it's yes, it might just be that you end the automation entirely, which is perfectly acceptable because they've achieved the final thing that you want to do here and you don't need to belabor it. So you could say end the funnel here. So let's walk through this real quick and we'll see. First thing was, did they have the tag of has member access? You waited a day. Besides showing them an offer in the dashboard because of that tag, you sent them an email that says, hey, you should get this other product, paid coaching call. The condition looks to see after this email is sent out whether they have. And if the person has, then that's it. You're done with them. If no, then you might do a nurturing series. Although I wouldn't send a lot of emails. You could send maybe one email or two emails that sort of help to educate why somebody might be interested in buying the coaching call product. And then you could also nest the same conditions again. So like, here's a nurturing condition. Then you're going to add probably a goal to check again, right? And in this case, it would be, has a tag been applied of purchased coaching call? So if you can see how this works mechanically, we come to this point where we check to see if this first condition exists. And if it's yes, we end it. So there's no big deal. If no, we do a bunch of stuff like send an email sequence or a couple emails, and then they'll come down the pipe and there'll be another condition here waiting for it to happen. And then at the very, very end, if you like, and you want to be neat about it, you can just say, end. Let's do it here. End the funnel here. So you notice we have two ending points, and the ending point is just more for, I think it's for visual stuff, but it also will kick people out of the sequence. So one of the things that happens is when you go live with these, you will see statistics, and it will also track inside Fluent CRM what's actually happening, right? And you can view the reports even in real time, which I think is fantastic. So visually and by name and by otherwise, you can see who is doing what, where, when, and why. So it kind of makes sense if you think about it. If you really do think that people should be done with the sequence and not just paused in there waiting for other things to happen, end the sequence, get them out of there. I mean, it's like they're done with taking the yoga class, so call it a day. I want to talk about a couple other interesting things, because the thing that's so special about doing things with WooCommerce and launch flows and so forth is that we can save the trouble of having overlapping products competing to do the same thing. So I had a consultation yesterday with somebody who was using Lifter LMS to sell her coursework, which is fine, just like with LearnDash. But I suggested that WooCommerce is a better choice, because with WooCommerce using the LaunchKit, setup here, we can have a product be more than just a product page. So let's go over here to our products. And let's look at I don't know, simple course subscription. The number one thing that you can do here is customize this page into its own sales page. What do you mean, Spence? Well, out of the box, this is allowing you to do a lot of things in one page already. Like, for example, you can have a product that's an event. You can have it giftable. you can have this apply tags with WP Fusion based upon somebody is subscribed. And those are the very same tags that will unlock access or trigger things like emails. You can use launch flows to daisy chain this together in a series of events. Like if they add it to their cart, they're immediately taken to checkout. After they purchase, they're immediately taken to the custom thank you page. But you could also just daisy chain together a bunch of other pages or offers. So it could be like when they add this product, then they're taken to this other product offer and another product offer until they finally just say, I'm ready to buy. But here's the neat thing. This by itself, it has a product image and it has a default product layout. This by itself can be really made gorgeous with a simple method I'm going to show you now into its own sales page. So for example, like you want to sell a course, don't use LearnDash's course page. Don't use, if you switch to Lifter's course page, use this method instead. First thing we do is let's take the product template and we'll just change it from the original template to the Launch Flows blank template. And we might make the page like a full width page. Next, I just simply mosey on over to either the Cadence starter template library, or I'll go over here to the free patterns library that I provide you. And let's just pick something that looks gorgeous that could be a sales type page, right? Let's pick this one, okay? So I'm just gonna grab the bottom. I'm gonna click this copy pattern code, as simple as that. And I'm gonna go into the product itself. I'm gonna paste in, just Control V, that layout. Now, Launch Flows is already set up with WooCommerce. So if you go back to the product tab, there's what's called the Launch Flows checkout link. This is your magical link that will take this particular product already configured with the daisy chain and everything is already programmed now. Copy that and just put it on one of the buttons. And let's change the word from get started to buy now. Okay, and learn more can still be there. That could go to something else, but let's change this link for that particular tab or button to be the very same thing I just showed you. Let's update it. Now, what have we got? We just turned a product into an all-in-one sales page, marketing automation trigger, and we can also take it further because remember how I said you can conditionally show something or not show something? Well, what about if we wanted to add different content on this very same page because somebody has already purchased? Well, that's what we can do. So now think about it. This entire thing that right now is a billboard to buy could be conditionally wrapped, like I showed you at the beginning, or it could have just the specific details. And when somebody does buy, they can go back to the very same singular page, that one box, and it's going to be all of the deliverables. It could literally be the embedded course. It could be literally the videos you're selling or the content. So just like I showed you with the My Account dashboard, this allows you to have a singular product page that has multifunction, almost like Transformers qualities to it based upon whether somebody's bought it or not bought it and so forth. But just out of the box, we can see now that looking at this page, that was as simple as it was to take a ho-hum, everything looks the same WooCommerce product, and watch what happens. When you click buy now, boom, that product will be sent to the cart and the person's redirected to checkout with the product ready to buy. They happen to have already had that in their basket. So we can do this one more time for fun. See the basket's empty. We click buy now. There should be one of them in there. Ta-da. Okay. I see I'm coming near the end of the time. We have a bunch of folks that are actually here today. If there's any questions, it's fine. But I'm going to kind of shorten it up today because I want to come back to a little bit of Spence and you guys and salesy stuff. Okay. Many of you, I have a significant number of folks that I've helped over the years. I mean, my actual list is closer to 50,000, but the active list is maybe 20% of that. It doesn't matter whether you're starting out in WordPress, you're an expert, you're an enterprise. I've made it very clear, and lately I've been blessed because I've had a lot of public conversations with a couple characters and other people in WordPress, that Delivering WordPress as a service, either on its own or connected to your favorite CRM or other third-party tools like Canva that I was just talking about. You could take that Launchflow's direct to checkout link and put it on a pretty Canva page so that you can deliver a service or have a service where all the graphic art stuff's happening somewhere else. I mentioned Instagram. My client who has Instagram, we talked about, I said, all you need to do is just put the link to a page or an actual direct to checkout because you've already got the engine here. So what I'm suggesting is the things that I've been doing here, whether you're a newbie, you're an expert, whether you're even an enterprise, is that directly and through my relationships, I've been able to demonstrate now over the years, and specifically this year, that WordPress is a ready-to-use marketing engine for e-commerce, membership, marketing automation, even the graphic design and layout, is really the foundation of what I'm delivering with all the software and the hosting at a comparable, maybe competitive price to anything you could get anywhere else, except maybe Go High Level. So it's a good mix to compare with Go High Level. It's like WordPress could have everything in it for the same or less than Go High Level, or you could use Go High Level and connect to WordPress and it's still worthwhile, because the real thing I'm delivering is just the expertise. I'm delivering you a standardized, curated set of expertise along with my context and sensibilities. And for $97 a month, you could take any of those three things or all of them, and you would be getting exponentially greater value every single month, because there's no reason to be continuing to go down to the flea market of WordPress or asking any Tom, Dick, Susie, or Fred about what to do in WordPress, because there's a platform already available. This is it. All of the components and features curated, ready to use, hosted if you want it, at one price, and also the business part. Having the sensibility now, being in this industry with WordPress especially, I see now that what we are selling in huge quantities is not the technology. It is the relationship. So even if you're a newbie, or even if it's for your internal company, I offer you the same base price. It's $97 for your first relationship with me, $60 wholesale for any of your clients. And if you want to sell your clients a direct relationship with me, I give you $15 every month out of the $97. So it's $180 for affiliate referrals. There's no referral on the client because that's wholesale, but they get essentially the same experience, just having you as the middleman to talk to me, middle person. And that's working. So if you are thinking about like, what should I do next? Or how is I'm going to solve this next problem, WordPress, I encourage you to just take me up on the offer for the $97, because I can 100% guarantee, money back guarantee, in fact, that I will solve many or all of your problems. And now I want to just like bring this back a little bit. Today, I'm going to need to take a walk. I'm going to need to talk to some friends because I'm like mixed results about what happened to me this morning. And it's too early to say, but like, I'm not a person who will ever give up. I know that I will figure this out. And it may turn out to be that, worrying about it is never going to help, but it may turn out to be that like, I was given two choices. It's either it's a great thing and just give it a little time and you'll be all good, because they said no more surgeries required. There's no mechanical problems. There's no pinched nerve that he can see. I mean, that's actually pretty good news. There's a lot of scar tissue. Or I've got some disease that right now is at a very early stage. Maybe it's manageable and it maybe won't ever get worse. But if it did, it's, sucks for me. I have to figure out how to reconcile that and put it, I think, in the same context. Like when I speak to you guys, oftentimes you just need somebody to talk to who can be like your mirror on the wall. What the heck am I going to do about all of this? And I think that's what I'm also saying to you. It's helpful for me to work. It's helpful for me to be fixing your problems. It's always been useful for me to stay busy because my mind goes at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And that's either a blessing or a curse, especially when you turn it inwards about physical pain or problems. But I think I can be demonstratively showing you how to solve your business problems, sharing with you, commiserating maybe a little bit that, hey, something's happening to everybody. And in the process, we're all going to go through whatever the changes are for us as human beings on this planet in 2023 and beyond, which is really the bottom line. I think we're all experiencing something that you have to be participatory in the idea that you can't control it. You can only deal with it as the days go forward. And so I think I'll absorb this and have more to say on it, but it helps me to talk about it and to share it because, like even as I sit in the seat here, I'm not in dire pain, but this is like I'm plugged into an electrical cord or something and I have a little ants in my pants. So I need to figure out a way to deal with it and I'll keep you guys posted. But as far as business is concerned, please do take me up on the offer. Go on over to, this is my sales pitch at the end of our event. Go over to WPLaunchKit.com and you're going to be hearing an announcement from me about another brand name for this. The Launch Kit is the direct relationship with me that I've been talking about. All the software, it has the fully hosted Rocket.net optimized site hosting, which by the way is not trapping you into anything. We do have the live training bundle, which is a great offer that was left over from Black Friday, but I made a permanent thing because we had a great response. I'm going to be announcing probably over the weekend the cohort dates of the first class. This is a great bundle. It's 3 months of LaunchKit plus 4 hours of small group live training with me. So that's $1,200 plus $297. That's $1,497 of value for $297. And you can cancel at any time in the first 30 days. So, I mean, no brainer. Last but not least, I'm in conversations with a couple of the other people that are well known for making the software, because what I'm ultimately thinking is for people who are listening, who have a CRM that is not necessarily going to be fluent CRM, but you want to connect your WordPress site to another CRM. We've got a brand name for this product. We're going to be doing it in concert with these other people because that's an idea that we already know will scale. I've been in conversation with one of the larger CRM companies in particular, because I think everybody understands just some people just need like 2 or 3 things on WordPress and they want to connect it economically to another system like a CRM. And that's something that you're going to hear more from me about. I wanted to say thanks to everybody who came today. We had a good turnout. It was like 1.5 to 10 people, which is good since I didn't even announce it today. Thank you for your support, by the way. I really appreciate everybody. I love all you guys also, because when I was going through the original surgery, I was lucky enough to have signed up 5 or 6 of you as new concierge clients, and you've all stuck with me. And hopefully I've delivered on my promise now that my journey has continued. And I'm optimistic that it will get better. I like to prefer a life of optimism, and I'll do my best too. But being in a relationship with you guys helps me to stay focused and work on other stuff, instead of, like I tweeted the other day, sitting around in self-loathing, which doesn't solve any problem. So that's it. I hope this was a valuable random office hours. I will see you on the next video.